Shalom Aleichem, good morning, Chanukah Sameach. Welcome to our viewers on Torah Anytime as well. I want to dedicate the shir for the Atzlach of Ben Zion Ben Dosa, him and his family, and a special dear friend, a hero, Rav Siegel, who just joined us from Edison, New Jersey, made Aliyah in the middle of the war. Rabbi Aaron, that's called a tzaddik. In Mitzvah Hashem, you should have a Yishuv Tov. You should only know Nachas and Simcha, and you should enjoy the beautiful blessing of Eretz Yisrael. You should only see that in Eretz Yisrael there are no pebbles. We spoke about this morning. There are no pebbles. It's only precious stones. In Mitzvah Hashem, you should be able to see it. Absolutely. So we're speaking. What's that? Yeah, they went away and they were transformed into pearls and diamonds, silver and gold and precious stones. Rabbi Isai, a little combination of Parshas Vayeshev, Chanukah, and in Yanei de Yoima, we start with Parshas Vayeshev. Yosef goes to sleep and he has some dreams. So why do we go to sleep? Why did the Kodesh Baruch Hu create this idea of sleeping? Why do we need it? Let me be up for 24 hours, be able to function and serve Ribono Shel Olam. When I'm awake, wouldn't it be better? An unbelievable revelation from the Gaon Mivilna. In his commentary to Mishlei Perek Yutes Chaf Gimel, the Gaon Mivilna says, the tachlis of kol brias hashena, the whole purpose of creation of this idea called sleeping is, every night, a chacham's neshama goes upstairs to Misivta Shel Mala, to the yeshiva upstairs, to be able to accomplish and to learn there things that you do in 1 hour when you're sleeping, you cannot do in 70 years down here when you're awake in Yeshiva Shel Mata down here. Pilei ploim. But, he says, from that learning, you don't get any reward. In fact, that is the reward itself. The reward that you get is from what you learn during the day when you're awake down here, and that brings you to Olam Haba. But, you should be aware that when you wake up, you're loaded with Chidushei Torah, more so than you'll be able to accomplish in 70 years when you're awake down here. Pilei Ploim.
What's the purpose? Why?
Maybe similar to what the Gemara says in Nida Daf Lamed Amud Beis, that when a baby is in his mother's womb, he learns the entire Torah. A malach is there teaching him the entire Torah. Before he leaves, he slaps him on the face and makes him forget it all. So what's the idea of learning everything if ultimately you forgot it? The Mefarshim explain it's easier to go back to what you once had than to start something new completely. It may be the same idea. Maybe it'll be easier for you to attain those chidushim, that Torah that you learned when it was already by you once, than just to start the whole thing again. I don't think it's a problem, because when you're learning, that's what brings you to Olam Haba. So his share in the world to come is a little bigger. And then it's eternity, you'll have more time to learn with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. I don't think it's a problem. In this parsha, we learn about the birthday of Paroi. Rabbi say a question: how many birthdays can one person have? And Chas v'Sholom, not counting the Goyish date. That's not part of our system. Chas v'Sholom. How many birthdays can one person have? Well, let's say it in a different way. Can a person have more than one birthday? English is a Goyish date. We're not using that. Chas v'Sholom, definitely not in this holy place. What's that? 2 Adars. And what if I was born in Nisan? Elul, Tishrei, Cheshvan? And let's say I was born in Adar, when there's a leap year or not. The following year, I'm only going to have 1 birthday. During a period of 12 months, how many birthdays can one have? A little louder.
If someone converted or had a miracle, something doesn't start another birthday.
If he had a miracle, no, he just has to say a bracha she'asa li nes. If he converted, Gershon is Gaya kekatan shenoilat. That's very good. Didn't think about that one. We'll add that one. Great. But what if he was born Jewish? Every single one of us who were born Jewish, how many birthdays can we have? 1. And it wasn't a trick question, so obviously there is more than 1.
We have 2 potential birthdays.
Adam Arishon?
2 birthdays. Because it's a machlokas when the world was created. It was created in Tishri.
So there's a machlokas, but ultimately he was only created once. But I'm talking about everybody who's sitting here. And as far as I know, your name is Adam Marishon. What about Adar Aleph? That was said before. I was born in the month of Nisan. And even a person who was born Adar Aleph, the following year he only has one birthday. We'll decide if it's Adar Aleph or Adar Beis.
What year are you counting?
Every single year.
What year are you counting? Are you counting from Rosh Hashanah?
However you count it, 12-month period. Start from whatever you want, from Cheshvan to Cheshvan.
But the year that you're physically in is counted as a certain year.
How many birthdays can you have without pilpulim?
You have, but
One. That was already, rejected. That's clear, that's pashut. But obviously, I'm suggesting that there is more than one. You'll be surprised how many birthdays we can have. First of all, biological birthday, obviously. According to the Chassam Sofer, what are you celebrating? The fact that you were born on Arel? You're not circumcised, you're like a goy. The Chassam Sofer says a person's real birthday is 8 days later. You have a bris milah. Now you come into the covenant of Avraham Avinu. Now there's your birthday. You want to celebrate a birthday? That's your birthday. Now doesn't apply to women. I guess they have to go with the biological one. According to some Sefer, so you have already two birthdays. A biological one. Some Sefer doesn't like it. So according to him, we'll have another one 8 days later. Fine. More, according to some Sefer, in Shemois, Perek Zayin, Pasuk Zayin.
How does that work by a woman?
I just said, doesn't include women. They're still stuck with one biological birthday. Fine. What's that?
when they get married, they have the pressure. So they're now.
That's a nice Chiddush. I'm not familiar with a source other than yours. It's cute. I like it, but
Not another source. So.
you can have a source because the Gemara says that a person until he's married he's a half a person. So now he's a complete person. But we find a happy anniversary, not a happy birthday on the day of anniversary. Chiddush of yours. We'll go with the Chiddush of Chassam Sofer. The Chassam Sofer in Shemois Perek Zayin Pasuk Zayin says, a tzaddik, when he reaches his new level, that's his birthday. With that he explains what the Gemara says in Sotah Yud Gimel, that a person, a tzaddik, dies on the same day that he is born. Because the Kodesh Baruch Hu is memale shnoseihem shel tzaddikim miyom leyoim. It says the Chassam Sofer, but you see, it doesn't really always work like that. We know many tzaddikim that they died not on their birthday. How does it work? Chassam Sofer says, yes, they did die on their birthday. Because their birthday is counted as the day that they moved to the level of that tzidkus that the Kodesh Baruch Hu counts. Oh, now is your birthday. Now you achieve that maila. Maybe they will die on the same date, and that the Chassam Sofer calls it their birthday. So we already have 3 different birthdays.
If they die on their birthday, like Moshe Rabbeinu decided that it shows that we don't go by the Levila. The kasha on that.
No, that's not a problem at all. Because Moshe Rabbeinu was born circumcised. I wrote about it once.
What about a clinical death? Is that also called like being reborn again? Because Hashem went downstairs, hear all these stories, and they come back down again.
Mistama etz anes, and he will say, Baruch she'asa lines b'makom hazeh. You're familiar with that? The source that says maybe he will count it as a birthday, but I'm looking for sources in our Mekoros. Noyam Elimelech.
So how does he know he reached a new level? What is
Who says he does? Who says he does? HaKadosh Baruch Hu does. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows. Who knows? Who says he knows? He has a birthday, but he doesn't know. It's still his birthday. You can have a gift, and you can have a birthday cake without knowing. But Lemay says his birthday. A person is in a coma. It's not his birthday. He still is not aware of it, but it's still his birthday. HaKadosh Baruch Hu celebrates Mistama upstairs in Pamalia Shel Malav with all the Malachim. Another one. Noyam Elimelech. Parshas Bamidbar. There's another birthday. When a person does tshuva, it's his birthday. Why? It's another macher. It's a new person. Panim Chadashos Ba'ol Lekan is a new entity. The Rambam says that when you do tshuva, you have to look back and says, who's that guy? He has nothing to do with me. I'm a new person. You're a new person? A new person is the birthday. It's a tshuva. Mimele, according to this Noyam Elimelech, not only on the day you do tshuva, you should be doing tshuva every single day. So we made every single day is the birthday. 354 days a year. 354 gifts, tell your wives.
So he loses the original one. There's tshuva. He's a new person, so he's not anymore the one.
Doesn't make a difference. He'll do tshuva today, he'll do tshuva tomorrow. So he's never going to have 2 birthdays in one day, but he's still going to have a birthday every single day. Hopefully.
What kind of tshuva? It's not tshuva every day.
Really? Tzaddikim do cheshbon hanefesh every single night before they go to sleep. And hopefully they do a tshuva shleima me'ava. Why not?
If you need it every day, it's kind of hard.
Really? That's the highest level of tshuva. Sharat tshuva, Rabbeinu Yonah says there's 6 different levels that a person, 6 different times that a person does tshuva. The highest level is does tshuva every single day. We are requested to do tshuva every single day. That's the highest level. You bang really, really hard, and you do some accounting and introspection. Did I do anything wrong today? And if I did, you try to fix it. Tshuva. But instead of waiting till you accumulate a lot of averos, you do it immediately. Let's go into, what about a mapil?
Say a mapil. When you say a mapil, are you thinking about what you accomplished that day?
I don't know. I think about praising HaKadosh Baruch Hu that allows us to go to sleep and gives us koyach tomorrow to wake up with a little more koyach. Some Sofer two answers. First, some Sofer says that when a person has his circumcision, that's his real birthday. Don't celebrate the fact that you became an Arel. And the fact that some Sofer says that when a person moves up to a level of a tzaddik, Kodesh Baruch Hu counts that as his birthday. Now we move into a little more serious area.
Bar mitzvah is still 13 years. It doesn't change because of your birthday.
But mitzvah is just, we're singling out a day that after 13 years that you're here in this world, now you're chayav in all mitzvahs. That's what it means. You go into the pleasantry, not oil, yoke, the pleasantry of Torah and mitzvahs. The beautiful diamonds, now we have 613 that you're chayav in. That's what it means. That's all. It's the private ma'amad har Sinai of every individual in Klal Yisrael. That's what it is. Because back then we were all obligated, but a kid under 13 is still not obligated. When he reaches 13 now, is as if his own revelation and har Sinai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, now, accept it on yourself, and he says, yes, na'aseh v'nishma. Use that next bar mitzvah that you have to speak it. Rabbi Isai, a more serious shaila, very, very serious. There's a Hamasnik, Yemach Shemoy v'zichroy, that we injured, and we caught him, and he's about to die. He has 5 minutes to go. There's also a Jew right next to him who was also injured. So we turn to the Hamasnik, who's definitely leaving us in 5 minutes, and we say, listen, would you like to donate some organs? He says, sure, that'll be great. I'll be able to compensate, to atone for what I did. I doubt that that's ever going to happen. But, Lu Yatsuya, we find some pieces of him scattered around. Can you take, should you take, do you want a heart of a Hamasnik, a liver of a Hamasnik? The Jew has been waiting for a long time for a heart transplant. Now finally there's a heart transplant. Can you take it? Should you take it? Do you recommend it? Rabbi Isai, Dayani Mumchim. What do you say?
I say no.
You say no. And the reason is?
Yes, I mean, it's inside. The heart is part of the person.
What about a finger? It's an external part. It's not part of the inside. Finger you're good with?
Yeah.
Halachically it's fine.
It should be fine.
He has no problem.
We say we don't use the cruel animal.
Aha! You hear what he says? You hear what he says? He's saying the Ramban. Why, asks the Ramban, why did the Torah say, stay away from non-kosher birds? He starts with birds, but he stretches it to all non-kosher animals. Why did the Torah say, stay away from the eagle? What do you have against the eagle? What do you have against the eagle? What do you do wrong? I never ate one, but maybe it's delicious. What do you have against the eagle? What do you have against the lion? Says the Ramban. The non-kosher animals are predators. They are cruel. And when you eat them, you can become cruel as well. The Kolbo, one of the Rishonim, says, that's the reality, that the food that you eat changes and becomes you. It turns you into what the food came from. And this can make you a cruel person that likes to kill like these animals. So you still think it's okay and you would like that heart or that liver?
But the life of a Jew, we're even willing to be Mechal Shabbos, the Safek Shabbos.
Mechal Shabbos. But you want a cruel heart that killed 100 people 5 minutes ago in a Jew's body?
I don't know how it works, but to me the life of a Jew seems so precious that I think we do a lot for that.
What if it's not a pikuach nefesh shayla?
And then no pikuach nefesh, so no.
No. But you say halachically is not a problem.
If it's pikuach nefesh, I'm saying for pikuach nefesh.
When it's not pikuach nefesh, halachically is there a problem?
I would think it's not. It's a problem. I mean,
If it's a problem, so even not pikuach nefesh, you should say no. Please be consistent.
I would say the same thing, pikuach nefesh and not that's what
Only pikuach nefesh.
I say it's absolutely fine. And we see that anyone who's waiting for organs, they don't ask for the CV of the person who...
But you have the CV in front of you. His name is a Hamasik. He's still with his uniform.
What is a Jew? A Jew is a neshama, right? This is his soul. His physical body is just temporary. So this organ allows him to live longer.
What are you going to do with this Ramban?
You're not eating it. It's not going to be consumed through your body and going into it. It's a whole piece that stays intact.
The Ritva says, Yevamos Kuf Yudalet.
Eating something and
That's what he's saying. Yevamos Kuf Yudalet, the Ritva says, can you nurse a Goya Shamil? Can you nurse from a Goya? Moshe didn't. Moshe didn't. Why? This mouth one day will speak to the British. It's not shayach. Are you allowed to? You're allowed to.
No, if you have to, there's no other alternative.
Aha. You're correct. Halachically, you're allowed to, but the Ritva says stay away. The Kitzur Shulchan Aruch Paskins Lamaise, stay away, unless, like you say, there's no other alternative. It's a pikuach nefesh. Without it, the baby can't live. Why? Says the Ritva, where does milk come from? From where does he have blood? From eating all the shkatzim and nevalos and remasim and all the trefis and all the wrong things. The Kodesh Baruch Hu says, stay away, it's not good for you. That creates the milk. With that milk, you want to feed a Jewish soul, you want to feed a Jewish person. If from eating the wrong foods, like the Ramban, like the Kolbo, like the Ritva, it can create bad midos, cruelty, how much more so when you take the actual organ of that person who had the bad midos and the cruelty and you put it inside a person's body. But the body, like you're saying, is a vehicle. It's a bol bet neshama. It's not the body. The body doesn't have midos. Neshama has midos. But even the neshama doesn't have bad midos. Neshama is a chelek eloika mimal. It's a part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's. It's a spark from the heavenly throne. The neshama doesn't have bad midos. So when you eat the wrong foods, it causes timtum hanefesh. It wrecks your internal makeup, the nefesh. Where is the nefesh found? In the blood. That's why you can't have a blood transfusion, lichoira, from a goy. That's what's going to destroy your internal makeup, your midos. Going to bring cruelty. But the Rav Pe'alim, who's the Rav Pe'alim? Ben Ishchai, Chelek Dalet Sod Yesharim Siman Hey says, and many others say that as well. It's not that the Tameh animal, the non-kosher animal, in itself is problematic. It's when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to you, stay away, that it's problematic. If you eat it be'isu, we told you not to eat it and you ate it, that can cause a problem to your body. But if HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, eat it now, pikuach nefesh, the doctor says, you have to eat chazir now. You have a mitzvah to eat chazir now. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is punishing you for doing what he says. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, eat it, pikuach nefesh Allah, you have to eat it. But you know, you're going to get it. I'm going to change your internal makeup. Does that make sense? Says the Ben Ishchai, nothing's going to happen to him. Only when he eats it be'isu, then it's a spiritual thing. Somehow, in a segula type of a way, it can change and can affect his body. But not when he's doing the right thing. The Remami Pano, however, says, Remami Pano, Menachem Azariah Pano, 500 years ago, the greatest Mekubal, the greatest Poisek, he says, even when one eats be'oines, he's forced to, it's a mitzius. If you put your hand in fire, it's going to burn. Whether the doctor told you to do it or whether be'oines, fire burns. In ma'achalos asuros, the wrong foods, change our internal makeup. That's just the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. The Shlah HaKadosh writes the same. So it's a tremendous, tremendous machlokes. But even according to those shitos that it does change you, that's b'derech achila. When they told you not to eat and you ate. When they told you to eat and you ate because you ate it. But nobody says anything about the transplant. Nobody says anything about the blood transfusion that goes into your body, not through your mouth. The problem is the eating. The eating can affect you. But who says in other areas? So Lemaise, can you take it or not? Yes. Yes. However, you shouldn't take it. Why? Because there's another issue. Bababas and Daf Yudah Mudbeis, we learn, don't take tzedakah from Eino Yehudi. Why? Because it gives them such a big schus upstairs, it delays the coming of Mashiach. It delays the Geula. It's a big mitzvah. So this guy wants to atone for what he did. We don't want him to have an atonement. Let him suffer forever and ever in Gehenna. Because Baruch Hu take care of him. And we don't want to delay the Geula by saving a Jewish life. It's gewaldig what he could do. We don't want to do that. So lichora, if it was up to you, we should say no. If it's a pikuach nefesh halal, you must take it. No question about it. That overrides everything except for 3 averos chamuros. So if it's a pikuach nefesh, no question, it doesn't make a difference what part of the body is, take it. But if it's not a pikuach nefesh, and we can wait or can take it from somebody else, Ayid, obviously take it from there. There was a Maisa with the Ponevezher Rav that he was hospitalized in Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, and he needed the blood transfusion. So he had 2 doctors, Dr. Hyman and Dr. Heitzig, just many years ago, and he said to them, please make sure that I only get Jewish blood. I don't want non-Jewish blood. He said, what do you mean? I don't want. Okay. They had a technical difficulty getting dafka Jewish blood, so they came to him and said, we found Jewish blood, no problem. But it was a Goyish blood. As soon as they started putting it into his body started shivering and he couldn't relax, and he started yelling, no, non-Jewish blood, no non-Jewish blood, no non-Jewish blood. And they never saw anything like it. They took it out of his body, and immediately he was fine. Very, very strange. 18 years later, he was sick again. Again, he was hospitalized in Mount Sinai. This was the last time he's going to get sick before he left and went upstairs. And again, he needed a blood transfusion. The doctor comes to him and says, doctor, please make sure that I only get Jewish blood. The doctor looks at him and says, that's a very strange thing. I never heard such a request before. What do you mean Jewish blood is there? Jewish blood is redder, is sweeter? What do you mean? And he says, listen, go down to the files downstairs. You'll see my records. You'll understand. He went downstairs, and in fact, he saw this body rejects any non-Jewish blood. That's what the doctors wrote. So he put him on a radio that is looking for Jewish people to donate blood for a very special rabbi. And they were able to give him Jewish blood.
I heard you wanted specifically from Bar Tshuva. I heard the story of
That I don't know. That I don't know. You mean from a birthday boy? According to what we said before.
was Jewish blood from Bar Tshuva.
A Baal Tshuva for a birthday boy, Baal Tshuva. According to what we said before.
You said, about the terrorists, right? About the Hamas. Why do we heal them? Why say they're dying? Why do we take them into hospital and treat them?
I think we spoke about this a few weeks ago when a doctor asked me, does he have the obligation to treat a Hamasnik that they caught and he's injured? And the answer is, you must take care of him. Why? I brought a Meshech Chochmah that proves it in Parashas Kiseitze. I'm not going to go through the whole proof, but Lemaisa, the bottom line is, today if you don't treat, it's going to be major Eva, animosity. And that's what they're going to do to our hostages, to our injured people, and not only between us and them, all over the world, this can endanger Jewish lives. And because of this concept of Eva, you must treat them. No question about it.
Well, one sort of question about someone who is all sick and they have an option to tell Shabbos to give her food, or to take non-kosher meat and give her. I remember the answer, I don't remember why, but it was basically to rather be Michal Shabbos, the heta, like you were saying, it turns into a mitzvah, than to eat non-kosher.
That's not the reason. It's the Ran. It's a famous Ran. And the reason is because you do one maaseh of shchita, chilul Shabbos, and you end it. But when you're eating the non-kosher food, every kazait is another love. Not everybody agrees. That's what the Ran says. Aboisai, our soldiers invaded and conquered many homes in Gaza. They don't know how long they're going to be there. They're there now, today. They're going to be there for a week, for 2 weeks, for 6 months. Who knows? Can they light Chanukah candles in those homes? Is it their homes? A person who is homeless doesn't light Chanukah candles. He's exempt from the mitzvah. But they have a home. It's not their home. Is it their home? How do we view this? Can they light Chanukah candles in this place?
It's a temporary home.
You're saying no.
Are they actually staying in the houses?
Sure.
Really?
Sure.
Yeah.
You want to stay in the street? There are no streets anymore. A few homes left, but there are no streets.
That's their home for that time. When Hanukkah is.
Doesn't have to be your home. Is it their home?
If you're in a hotel,
For the hotel I paid. Now it's my place. For the next 24 hours, for the next week. What about a person who's single? A widower?
If they're Sephardi,
Doesn't have. They live in a different time zone. They live in Australia, which is a big shout out in Halacha.
I'll say if they're Sephardi and rely on their parents,
They don't have. He doesn't have. He is the parent.
same time zone. Similar time zone, then it's okay. Not otherwise.
Even in different time zone, many say it's okay. But it's a question.
I don't think they have rishus from the owners.
They definitely don't. The owners want them dead.
So does that make a difference?
Didn't the owners give up ownership when they ran away and made it hefker? Are they still the owners? Do they even know if there's going to be a house when they come back?
They're assuming, they're hoping so.
You ran away from your house.
Whose land?
Hefker. You made it hefker.
It's our
I'm not sure
land.
it's hefty.
What's that?
It's our land. Whose land was it?
Hefker, you ran away.
Oh, we have a principle, Zokin on a Transplant, that he won't allow to go.
Sorry, coming back to what we discussed, if you live in Chutz La'aretz and you need blood, the chance they're going to get Gosher blood, right? And even in Eretz Israel, if they need a body part or something, they don't, if it's available, they don't say, was he a Rasha, was he a Shomen Mitzvah?
We said it's not a problem. We said it's not a problem. Only derech achila, eating it can cause problems, even to those, according to those opinions that say that even when you're chayav, b'koach nefesh, it can still, that's the mitzius, it can change you inside. But that's when you eat things, not when you plug them in your body, not through your mouth. There's no problem.
Why can't you say where you sleep? That belongs to you. So since you're sleeping there, so it's like yours, and therefore then it's like your bias.
I have a bigger question on you. Who says it has to belong to you? We don't find, there's no such thing as the house has to be owned by you. When you go to your friend so you don't light. When your friend live to you, stay in his place for a week so you don't light, of course you light. There's no such thing as the house has to belong to you. And since right now this is their home, they have to light. I'm just trying to fool you a little. No question, no problem, they can light. What if a person lights Chanukah candles and 3 seconds after he finished lighting, a siren goes off? So they all ran to the shelter, to the mamad, and they stay there for a full hour because the rockets keep coming for a full hour. They come out, and the Lemaise comes out that not even 1 minute, forget about a half an hour. Nobody was in the streets. Nobody. So there was no Pesum Benissa. Or if the rocket hit close by and shattered the glass box and the Chanukah and everything fell, and it was maybe 15 seconds. We told you to light for half an hour, but Lemaise it was on only for 15 seconds. Was the person in these two cases Yoitze?
Yes.
So clear to you?
Yes.
Why yes? Why yes?
Because the lighting is done, it's okay, it should last half an hour, 1 hour, whatever, but the fact that you lit it, and it's not due to your cause that it's gone,
Are you sure about this?
I think so.
Are you sure? Yes or no?
Yes.
Don't be afraid.
Yes.
Good. You have to be sure. The rule is kavsa eino zakuk la. If the candles blow out, you don't have to relight. If you lift it in a place where it can't stand for half an hour, you did something wrong. You didn't put enough oil. But if you lit in a kosher manner, and you did, whatever external reasons caused it to blow out, not our problem, and is yoytze. Even when there is time of peace, there's no sirens and there's no rockets, and I light outside in the right time, can I force all my neighbors, come, see my Pesum Benissa, and if they want to stay home, so I'm not yoytze? So what if nobody went in the streets? That's not my problem. Chazal instituted to light it in a place where there is potential Pesum Benissa, but Chazal can't force all the people to come dafka to my house. And what if I want to come to somebody, see somebody else's Chanukah? Mimele, there's no problem. Yeah, if you lit in a non-kosher manner, it's not matzui. It's not matzui. Tas v'shalom.
No, I was going to say very similar that because regular sugar, normally this is a place where people pass by, but just because of the sirens and that they are doing something different.
I can't be responsible and force people to come to my house to see it.
The question is, if the siren started and then he lit and then he goes in.
Since they only told you to stay in the mamad for 10 minutes, you don't know that there's going to be more and more and more missiles thrown at you. All you heard is one siren, so you run downstairs. For 10 minutes you should be there, you go out. There's no, you can't, you're not a prophet, you don't know what's going to be. Rabbi Isai, famous question of the Beis Yosef, I think we spoke about it last year. Why 8 days when seemingly Chanukah should be celebrated only for 7 days? After all, they had enough oil for one night, so the miracle transpired in the subsequent 7 nights. Not 8. So why do we need to celebrate 8? We should celebrate only for 7. So there are more than 1,000 answers to this question. If we will start only saying, 200-300 we will be here until next Chanukah. So we're going to spare you that. We also shared a few last time, but Anu Chidish from the Bas Ein. Says the Bas Ein. I think Bas Ein. Chassidish Bas Ein. The Bavrom Dov Mavarich. Bas Ein. And Tzfaz. We once spoke about, just last year I think, Pashat Vayishlach, we spoke about him. That's him, right? That was Pashat Vayeshev, I said it. But the Pashat Vayishlach, we said about this whole Maaseh, why he made Aliyah. Remember the Maaseh? Oof, with the diamonds, with the pebbles that we started this week. So the Bas Ayin says, I think that the stamp of the Kohen Gadol on that jug of oil was the letter Chet. Why Chet? Was his name Chaimke? Says the Bas Ayin. Chet represents the Chet Bigdei Kehuna. The 8, Chet is 8. The 8 royal garments, the Kehuna garment, the priest's special garments, that with that he is superior to other Kohanim. That singles him out. Chet is also shows that he was clinging to the 13 attributes of mercy. How does Chet, 8, turn into 13? So he says, how do you write Chet in Hebrew? It's a Vav and a Zayin. You connect them together, that's a Chet. Vav and Zayin together is how much? Vav is 6. Zayin 7. That's 13. That's 13 attributes of mercy. Mimele. Since that was his stamp, the Chet, and that's what they found, so to commemorate what they found with that stamp of Chet, they made it Chet days. They made it 8 days for Chanukah. Chiddush from the Bas Ayin. Gewaldik. Rabbi said last night we all said Shechianu, right?
Yes.
Can it be that somebody said Shechianu last night? He is healthy. Everybody is yoitze. Everything was done correctly. Perfect. But he's going to have to say Shechianu again tonight. He didn't buy a new garment or a new Chanukah, a silver one. No. Same Chanukah. The same type of Chanukah. Nothing special that requires a Shechianu. It's for the lighting itself. There's no new people here. The same people from yesterday. And yet, he said Shechianu last night and he's going to say Shechianu again tonight. Or sometimes it happens you say it the first night and then 4 or 5 days later, again you have to say Shechianu. No vows, no people who were sick, everybody is healthy. He was yoitze the first time around, he didn't buy anything that requires a Shechianu, and yet he's going to have to say Shechianu again 4 or 5 days later. Or tonight. Can it be?
Somebody who did not hear it doing that, and that person can't say the brachos.
And I just said that's not part of the equation. Everybody heard it who was here. They're all yoitze. They all said it. The guy's by himself. Last night he said it. He made the Chanukah? Shkoyach to him. Why would he say Shechianu?
By Sukkah, if you make the Sukkah, you really should be high to say Shechianu.
But we don't.
We're so met on the Shechianu that you say.
Right.
But Lamaisi, if you make a Sukkah after, there are questions that say you say it after.
Are you familiar with a shita halacha lemaise that requires you to say Shechianu if you made a Chanukah made out of wood worth 3 shekels?
You would pull out
I'm not familiar. Not familiar.
Do you have maybe someone who didn't say Shechianu?
No, that was already suggested before. We rejected that.
If you go to Australia.
Shkoyach to you. If you said Shechianu last night, you're not going to say Shechianu again during Chanukah. And by the way, you're in the same town.
Sorry, if you made Shechianu last night and you've got new guests tonight who haven't made Shechianu, they make the Shechianu, you don't make it.
He had a baby.
You are going to say Shechianu again, not for an external reason like a new baby, and not for a new garment, and not for a new Chanukah. For the lighting. For the lighting. Can it be?
You got married yesterday?
Mazel tov. Not for an external reason. For the lighting.
Okay.
And if you got married, his wife heard Shechianu last night by your parents' house. I hope.
A year or something? Something like that?
A year?
A gear.
A gear. What about a gear?
You're a Magayer. Or something.
A Jew. FFB.
He was in Australia and lived over there. After he went to America, crossed that before I was not done over there. That's what I said.
Achidish, Rabbi say.
Yeah.
Do we say Shechianu when lighting in the shul? First night?
Yeah.
Why not? What about a shul that they don't daven their weekdays? Many shuls, they only daven their Shabbos. Right? So the first time you're going to light in that shul is Shabbos. Let's say Chanukah started not like yesterday. Chanukah started on Sunday or Monday. And then you said Shechianu on Sunday. 5 days passed. The first time you're going to light in this shul is Friday night. Says Reb Chaim Kanievsky, that's the first time in the shul, and it requires a Shechianu. So if you're that person, this year it's Lemaisa last night, and tonight you're the gabbai, or they offer you, they honor you to light the candles, you're going to say Shechianu. If it's that type of a shul that doesn't meet weekdays, only Shabbos, you're going to have to say Shechianu again. What's that? No! It's a chance to advertise a new halacha. They're going to be screaming out of joy. Achivish!
You say it for Kol Ram.
Bekol Ram v'Nisa. You yell to publicize the halacha. Of course.
You confuse everyone in the
No, you won't. Before you start saying the bracha, you say, Rabbi Isai, I heard in a shir, Reb Chaim Kanievsky holds halacha lemaiset. It's very mistabel. The first time you light, you say Shechianu on this mitzvah. You say to them, nobody's going to yell at you. Nobody's going to be surprised. Tell him. And then you do it.
Is everyone masking to this?
I don't know anyone who's not masking to it.
It's only a minute. It's not.
The whole thing that we say a brachos in the shul is a chiddush in itself. Right. So if you already say the brachos, what do you care tagging along one more bracha? It hurts you. Now, boys, say a few more chidushim regarding Chanukah. Mamish pilei ploim. What should you check before you start lighting the menorah?
Enough oil in it.
Clear? Otherwise, you're not yotzef if there's not enough oil.
Wicks are good.
Without wicks, there's no mitzvah. What are you going to light? The glass.
The weather, there is no wind that we blow it up or something.
And if it's bad weather, so bring an umbrella.
What's the question again?
What should you check before you light your candles?
Enough oil.
The time.
It's in the right place that the wind's not going to blow it out.
Rabbi Isai Achidish from Reb Chaim Palaji. Moyed lechol chai. Reb Chaim Palaji. Perek Chav Zayin. Ois Ein Hey. And he says, check your tzitzis.
Tzemach.
Check your tzitzis. You're about to light Chanukah candles. You're not going to check your tzitzis? What kind of person are you? Why? The pasuk says, "Ve'achuta meshulash lo b'meheira yinoket," and a three-stranded cord will not quickly be broken. Right? Tovi mashnayim min ha'echad. Two people are better than one, but a three-stranded cord will not be severed. What three? Mezuzah is on the right side. Chanukah candles are on the left side, and you're in the middle of Balabos with the tzitzis. That's the three-stranded cord that cannot be broken. Check your tzitzis, and then he says, "Not a less of a chiddush." Just like you do in Birkas HaChodesh, benching the new moon, Motzei Shabbos. Check your tzitzis. Pilei ploim.
What's the thing on...
Mezuzah on the right side.
No, in the moon, the Chodesh.
No, that's not the thing. That's related to Chanukah. That's for a different reason, because there will be tremendous light in the time of Mashiach. Yimitz Hashem soon, speedily nowadays. So much light is going to be, the night is going to be like a day. We made it going to be chayiv b'tzitzis. We made it check it right now, singling that's what's going to happen at the moon and the sun. Another chiddush. What's that? I know. So I could have asked it in this manner. There is no mitzvah that was for Pasha Shlach. There is no mitzvah tzitzis at night. And yet, when should you check the tzitzis at night? Two answers. And the answer would be Birkas HaChodesh and Birkas HaLevana, and before lighting the candles.
There'd be no need to do that tonight, because you've got Shabbos candles, you've got Chanukah candles, and Mezuzah, you've already got the three light cord.
The Shabbos candles are usually not lit in the same place where the Chanukah is. The Chanukah is at the entrance. We have a mezuzah and a Chanukah, and we want it to be in the middle, and then you have a three-quarter strand. According to the Moed Lechal Chai, either that he doesn't want you to check it publicly, or that that's something already built in. He wants you to put another mitzvah on you. When you check something, you can make it kosher. When it's already built in, you can't do anything about it. Shkoyach to you. It's something your parents did for you. What's that?
No, there's a person who's mekayim the mitzvah every second, like tzitzit.
There are shit that says mekayim every single second.
So you say you're going to check the tzitzit before you light the candles? Can't you take the last time you saw it was kasher?
That's a good question, which is related to every single morning when you check your talis. It's a good question regarding the talis of Shabbos. Do you have to check it? Last Shabbos I folded it, Motzei Shabbos, I put it in the bag. Why do I have to check it again? Nobody used it. This morning I checked my talis. Tomorrow morning, do I have to check it again? It's this 30 years, nothing went wrong. Why do you have to check it again? There's a chazaka that it's fine. We rely on a chazaka when you can't check the chazaka. But when ikal leberure, when it's easily checked, we don't rely on the chazaka. And since you can check, it's right in front of you, it takes you another 3 seconds. You can check it, we don't rely on the chazaka. Maybe it was torn, maybe it got torn, something happened, things do happen. Many times, you sit on your talis, the chair or something, people step on it. They made it one that you can check, we don't rely on a chazak, and therefore you should check your talis for Shabbos or talis for weekdays. Rabbi say, how should you get dressed before you light the menorah? Does it make a difference what you wear?
Ladies put on jewelry.
Really?
From the Ben Ish Chai.
Should men put on jewelry?
Men don't have.
We better not have.
You don't need to change your clothing if you're...
You don't need to change your clothing. The Kav HaYashar doesn't agree with you. And Kav HaYashar writes, this is a very dear mitzvah that only comes once a year. And because the angels are coming to your house as well, light the candles when you're wearing your jacket, Malbush Elyon, just like you're going to the shul. He wants you to get dressed the same way you go to shul. And you should light immediately as you can, because mitzvah abba liyadcha al tachmitzena. Another important thing, since we're talking about candles and we're going to be lighting a lot of candles the whole week, there's a medish, an oitzer medishim, it's brought. The Ben Ish Chai also brings in Parshas Pinchas Shana Shniya Ois Yud Ches, and the kolbo from the Rishonim Simen Kuf Yud Ches. There's some things that if one does, he can lose his life. One of them is blowing out a candle like this with your mouth. One can lose his life for that. Doesn't say why, but it says it's dangerous. I once asked Maran Reb Chaim Kanievsky Zatzal if this is applicable only to the Havdalah candle or to all candles. I think most people for some reason think it only is applicable for Havdalah. The Medrash doesn't say that, and Reb Chaim told me you should be careful in all candles, even birthday candles. So we said last year Reb Chaim didn't hold the birthdays. He said that's only for going, because the only one we found is in this Pasha. Paro is the only one that we have in Tanakh that has a birthday. But anyways, one can lose his life. What's that? I know in Pasha Srei, I think in Ois Yudayin, he says it's a minhag tov. We used to celebrate it. Reb Chaim doesn't agree. Many others don't agree, and many others say yes. Well, I think we discussed it maybe last year. But one can lose his life. But be careful. You can do like this. You can do this. Come up with all kind of tricks. What you need to do to blow out candles. I think maybe the reason is it's not brought. I didn't see any sources for this, but the pasuk says Ner Hashem Nishmas Adam. The candle alludes to a neshama. So when you blow out the candle, which alludes to a neshama, as if lichoira you can blow out your own, extinguish your neshama.
Since you brought up the point of lighting as soon as you can, in Chutz La'aretz we always lit after 6. We always seem to light earlier.
First of all, welcome to Eretz Yisrael, and Baruch Hashem that you're in Eretz Yisrael. You don't have to rely on all kinds of things that they do in different places. We like to do things lechatchila. And lechatchila, it depends if you're Sephardi, if you're Ashkenazi. If you're Sephardi, you light at Tzeis. If you're Ashkenazi, between Shkia and Tzeis, at one point some do immediately at Shkia, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later. But after that, that's not the time of lechatchila. You're still yoitze as long as the people are still out there, but it's not lechatchila, and we like to do things lechatchila.
How many minutes is it after Shkia?
Some do at Shkia mamish, some do 10 minutes later.
It's not the Chanukah the first night, though. You're lighting before Chanukah then.
Every single night that you light,
The first day.
according to the Ashkenazic minhag, at Shkia, some hold 10 minutes after Shkia, some hold 15 minutes, some hold 20 minutes. I'm giving you opinions of the Chazon Ish, Reb Moshe Feinstein, Reb Steinman, Reb Elyoshev, Rav Shach, Reb Chaim Kanievsky, and a few others. Anyway, in between that Shkia to Tzeis, you're good to go. Sfardim, Tzeis. Later, you're still Yotze, but not Lechatchila.
Is there a height restriction of how high in the building you can light? If you're
Sure.
beyond the second or third or fourth, or as high up as the fifth.
You're living in Eretz Yisrael. There's no reason for you to light inside. Light outside.
I light inside, but I also want to light for the coming into the building. But coming into the building, they know it's me, but I can light on my porch. Is there a height restriction?
There is a height restrictions with there's 20 amma, more than 20 amma, about 6 meters. But in many buildings today, if you light in a higher place of that, anyways, the buildings next door to you are seeing it. But anyway, since you're lighting inside, it's less of a problem, because once you light inside, you can even light on your kitchen table and nobody's going to see it, only your household members. So we're a little more lenient with that. But you can also light outside, as Dina de Gemore, Madlikol Pesach Beiso Mi Bachutz. Aboisai, a very, very strange riddle. How many candles do you light the first night? One. Can it be that a person will be required, we will instruct him to light 8 candles on the first night? But we don't pass the Beis Shammai. We pass the Beis Hillel. Mashiach is still not here. And if you think that's strange, we'll make it even stranger. How many candles do you light on the second night? Can it be that there's a person that will instruct him to light 8 candles on the second night? You know what? Every single night! 8 candles every single night. The whole Chanukah. Can it be? You can say no, but you'll be incorrect. Can it be? How can it be that you'll light every single night 8 candles? Pillei ploi. Not everybody together? One by one?
This is Monday,
No! We have 1, 2, 3, 4, Beis Hillel, or 8, 7, 6, 5, Beis Shammai. We pass like Beis Hillel. That's the halacha.
You have 8 members in your family.
A person is by himself and he will light 8 candles in the same menorah every single night.
And he knows exactly which day is what?
Of course, but if he doesn't know, we'll tell him. You tell him. Oh, it's the first night. You have to light 8 candles.
Allah, he's still Yotze. I mean,
with what?
He has to be. He only needs 1 candle for Yotze.
When he comes and asks, tell me, how many candles should I light? We'll tell him, you have to light 8. The following morning he comes, how many candles should I light tonight? 8.
You're saying he has to light 8. There's a scenario he has to light 8. That's the question?
Yes. Can it be that one should light? We will instruct a person.
Like he's going to be Yotze. That's not the question.
I'm asking, when will you instruct a person to light 8 candles? Not only the first night, but every single night.
After he does tshuva every day.
Good for him. So he does tshuva and then wants to wreck it with doing the wrong number of candles? What kind of tshuva is that? Who is this person? I'd like to meet him. Rabbi Sifsei Tzadik with a tremendous chiddush. Shabbos Chaf Aleph Amud Beis, we learn Machlokas Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai. Beis Hillel going up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beis Shammai going down. Why? Why? Beis Hillel want to count how many days are still left or that passed? Or passed. Beis Shammai want to count how many days are left. That's one opinion. And the other opinion? Keneged Parei HaChag, corresponding to the korbanos that we bring on Yom Tov of Sukkos. And there's a whole big reason why, what's the connection between Sukkos and Chanukah. But you see already, the Torah demonstrates that there is an Indian to go down in numbers. Every single day in Sukkos they would bring less korbanos than the day before. So you do the same thing. But Beis Hillel say, you can't do that. Because what happens if you do? You're going against the rule. Ma'alin b'kodesh, ve'ein moridin. You always move up in levels of Kedusha, you don't go down. If you're going to do 8 today, tomorrow you're going to go down to 7. No good. Good. We pass it like Beis Hillel, right? No question. But what if a person comes to us and says, the doctors said I have exactly 3 hours to go. It's 4 p.m. last night. And he calls us, he says, listen, doctor said 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours max. That's all I have. What should we instruct him to do? If he lights 1 candle, what did he do? He didn't fulfill the reason of Beis Hillel. He didn't do anything. At least, if he's going to do, according to Beis Shammai, the first night, the 8 candles, at least he did something. It's corresponding to the candle, to the amount of korbanos that it diminishes with time. At least he did something. That's the first night. What if a miracle happened? Somehow, he's still around. He didn't die. He calls the following day and says, you're not going to believe it. I'm still here. But now the doctor's saying, not shayach. Maybe 1.5 hours I have to go. Maybe. For sure they're saying, I'm going to die. No question. What should we tell him then? Well, if you already started like the Shammai, go down to 7. You can't do that. Ma'alin b'kodesh ve'en moridin. So you know what? Stick with 8 again. But what if he somehow is still here tomorrow? And every single day the doctors are promising us he's going to die. He has a few hours. Since he started with 8 and he can't go down, suggests the Sifsei Tzaddik he should continue lighting 8 every single day.
Maybe he should say Shechianu every day also.
Maybe he should switch doctors.
No, maybe if he switches doctors, he'll die.
He will live for many, many more years.
Isn't a new diagnosis every day to go assess?
Once
we come onto the reason of you're not going
you said,
you should just be sick the first day and then get a complete refull and he'll stay with 8
Lichoira, because what are you going to do? You're going to go Moirin B'Kodesh. Lichoira. He's clear about the first night. He wants to say that perhaps, even if he's still around the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th day, he should still continue because of this problem, technical problem of Moirin B'Kodesh. So he's leaving it with a question mark about the rest of the days, but the first day is clear to him.
So if this happened on the 4th night, you got this diagnosis, he lights the fifth day for 8.
No, you can't. There's no reason to jump. You started with Beis Hillel. Stick with Beis Hillel. No reason. You started with 1. 2. Tonight is going to be 4. You're going to fulfill the reason for Beis Hillel. Ma'alin b'kodesh ve'en moridin. No problem.
The same scenario with the Rat said, if the third day the doctor said, no, we rechecked, you are fine, you'll be living 120 years.
So then he has a problem, like he said, because he's going to have a moiridin b'kodesh, and we don't do that. We're only ma'alin b'kodesh. We ascend in level of kedusha. We don't go down.
So he continues 8, even though he's...
That's what he's saying. Pillei ploi. Can it be that there's any part of the mitzvah of Chanukah that we do, which is Deoraisa? Where is Chanukah written in the Torah? It's not. It's rabbinic. But can it be that anything that we do during Chanukah is actually from the Torah? The pasuk says that applies to any bracha de Rabbanon, because Rabbanon commanded you, and you're commanded by HaKadosh Baruch Hu to listen to them. So you can say, what mitzvah? To listen to the Chachamim. But is there any mitzvah itself that you do on Chanukah that is from the Torah?
Eating donuts.
Eating donuts. That's a pashut. Otherwise you're not yotzeh. Says who? Rabbeinu Avraham ben Harambam. He has a Shalat Shuvas, Maise Nisim. And in Maise Nisim, Simin Samech Aleph, he says, the Hallel that we say on the days of Chanukah is Deoraisa. Why? Because the pasuk says, "Velo techalel et shem Elokecha." Don't desecrate Hashem's name. From the words "lo techalel," Chazal learn Kaddish. So when you publicize in the Nes by saying thank you to Ribbon Shalom, by saying Hallel, that's a chiyuv Deoraisa to publicize the Nes wherever it happened. A tremendous Chiddush.
Only Chanukah?
Only Chanukah. That's what he says.
On that point of Hallel, how come we say full Hallel on Chanukah when we had a war with someone, when we had a war with the Greeks and we won, but on Pesach, when we beat the Egyptians, we don't say full Hallel.
You beat the Egyptians? You fought with them?
We didn't fight with them, but whatever.
Kodesh Baruch Hu took you out of Egypt. Some of them drowned. But you didn't beat them because you didn't fight them.
No, but what's there in Pesach, we don't say full Hallel.
Right.
Here, we do say full Hallel, even though people would goyim were killed. And that's the reason.
But why?
Pesach, one of the reasons we don't say in Pesach is because the Hashem's people were killed. No?
That's the Malachim. That's the Malachim. They wanted to sing the Kodesh Baruch Hu, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu says, whoa. And you want to sing? That's to them, not to us. We'll speak about it, Mitzvah Hashem, because we have to speak not only about Chanukah and Pesach, we have to continue and stretch it to the other Yom Tovim and decide why we say Hallel Shalem in different, sometimes and sometimes we don't. So, Mitzvah Hashem, remind me, we'll speak about it. We have to stretch it and elaborate, but we don't have too much time. Rabbi say another Chiddush. Learning is very important. We always know that, even more so in Chanukah. Why? Because they decided they wanted Le'ashkicham Torah Secha. They wanted us to forget the Torah. Says the Chassam Sofer, in these days it's very important to be mischazik in learning Torah, but not only for that reason. Chiddush, I don't know who told the Chassam Sofer, but he says, because during Chanukah is when the secrets of Torah were revealed to Moshe Rabbeinu. And therefore you have an Inyan today, not only to praise and to sing to Kodesh Baruch Hu and thank Him, but also to learn Torah. These are special, propitious times. Another Chiddush. Chazal say that if you light the candles of Chanukah, candles of Shabbos, you can have kids who are Talmidei Chachamim. It's a segula for Talmidei Chachamim. Who should prepare the candles? You normally prepare them and then you light them. Says the Moyed Lechol Chai, Reb Chaim Palachi. The woman should prepare the candles. It's shaykh to her as well. You know, it's also her kids. And lighting candles is also part of her mitzvah. It comes out based on Reb Chaim Palachi. This is what he says. It comes out based on Reb Chaim Palachi that it's a beautiful partnership. In Shabbos, Shulchan Aruch Chaim Siman Reish Samech Dalet, we learn that the man should prepare the candles for his wife. On Chanukah, she should prepare for him. A beautiful partnership, and for that, in Mitzvah Hashem, they will merit to have, in fact, Talmidei Chachamim. Another unbelievable Chiddush. When you have a suffix whether to say a bracha or not. All brachos, do you say a bracha or not? No, except for mentioning as Deoraisa, Machlokes and Birkos HaTorah. But all other blessings are d'Rabbanan. The rule is, Safek brachos lehakel. Is there any bracha that you should say when you have a suffix? You have a suffix and say, you should still say the bracha. Can it be? Because Hamazon is d'oraisa. Other than that, Ruach HaKodesh. My kids would say Ruach HaKodesh. Why? Says the Moruk Tzia, Simen Taf Reish Ayin Beis, Moruk Tzia. We're going to say, even though there is a Safek Bracha, say the Bracha. Normally we say Safek Brachos Lehakel, it's only rabbinic in nature, you can't say a Bracha when you have a Safek. Says the Moruk Tzia. What? Adlak Asneros.
Which one?
Lehad Likner Chanukah. Lehad Likner. Why? Because if you're not going to say the bracha, people will say, oh, I guess he needs a little light here. It's not lit enough in the room or outside. He needs to see something. He needs a flashlight. People will mistakenly think you're not doing it for the mitzvah. Only if you're going to say the bracha, they will understand this belongs to the mitzvah, and therefore he says, even though he explains the opinion of the tool, even though you have a suffix, in this specific case, you have to say a bracha. And that's a tremendous chiddush. Another great chiddush from the tzlach. What should you get? Extra chizik, we say divrei Torah, learning Torah, gevaldik, no question about it, that's always good. What else, specifically for Chanukah, should one be strived to get mischazik in during these days? That we said, some sofer, no question about it. Says that tzlach. He asks, why is it that HaKadosh Baruch Hu performed the miracle dafka with the oil for the menorah, not with the wine for the nesachim, for the libations? Why not with the soles for the menachos? Why dafka with this item called oil, which is used for lighting? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to demonstrate that the Greeks do not have the koyach to remove Shechina from Klal Yisrael, from the house. Why? Because in Shabbos Chav Beis, in Menachos Pei Vav, we learn that the menorah was edus lechol bai olam. That's the language of Chazal. It was a testimony to all the inhabitants of the world that Shechina shoya b'Yisrael. The Shechina is in Klal Yisrael. That's in the house, the Beis Hamikdash. So the Yevanim cannot remove it. That's why specifically in the menorah, which is a testimony that the Shechina resides with us, that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu made the miracle dafka in the oil. And therefore he says, it's clear that the right thing, the appropriate thing to be mischazik and during these days is Kedushas Beis HaKnesses. Because our Beit HaKnesses today is a mini Beis Mikdash. And he says, I've seen a terrible thing that people speak in the middle of davening, in the middle of shul. Baruch Hashem, that we fixed. We don't have the problem at the time of tzlach. Baruch Hashem. But he says, it's good for the history books. For some reason, he says, back in his time, he saw this terrible thing and he says, there is no greater disgrace that you come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's house and in his own house, where the Shechina resides, you desecrate him. He says there's no greater sin than that. So Baruch Hashem, it's not shaykh to our shuls, Gevaldik Baruch Hashem, but if you ever heard of such a thing exists anywhere, just tell them. Mishtama, you heard what happened 3 weeks ago. Why? One of the houses here in Dolev. A family came, Motzi Shabbos. You heard about the break-in? Terrible ma'aseh. A family went away for Shabbos. And Motzi Shabbos, they came in and the door was already open. So they realized something is wrong because they locked the door. So they go in. The house was destroyed. They stole everything. They cleaned them out. They even took the cookies from the fridge. They uprooted the tiles because they thought maybe the guy is hiding some dollars under the tiles. They tore the couches because maybe the guy stooped something inside. The place was... The family with 5 kids, they come home and they're looking around. The mamas are destroyed. And then the father saw on a corner there's a tiny little grape juice. You know what they get in Mishloach Manos, the 7 shekel little bottles. He saw this. So he saw, look, he didn't touch it. Look. So he called all his kids. He says, call the neighbors, I want to do l'chaim. And they look at him, Daddy, l'chaim. They destroyed our house. All that's left is a 7 shekel grape juice. We don't even like this grape juice, Dad. Call all the neighbors. I want to do l'chaim. And they saw the guy lost it. They called the neighbors down. He said to all of them, sit down, let's do l'chaim. And then he realized they even stole the chairs. He said, okay, we'll stand do l'chaim. And they look at him like, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with him? Rabbi said, that's the story of Chanukah. They came into Beis Hamikdash. What was there? They destroyed everything. They even took the cookies from the fridge. They stole everything. They defiled everything. Oh, Baruch Hashem, we found a little tiny jug of oil. Shkoyach, let's celebrate for 8 days. What are you celebrating? They destroyed everything. The house of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And you're celebrating. You want to do Al-Chaim? Yes, because that's the story of Chanukah. You look at what you have and not at what you don't have. You look at the small miracles that you think are small. And when you do that and you recognize it and you say, thank you to Ribono Shel Olam, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will shower you with much more. I suggest strongly, each person should have a little booklet. Give to your family members as well. Write down the nisim that you see every single day of your life. Friday night, Shabbos table. You read it out loud to the family. Ask your family members to read it to you. When you recognize the HaKadosh Baruch Hu's miracles and you say thank you, even for small ones, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu appreciates it and He will give us much, much, much more. Just want to finish with a fact which we all know, it's not a secret. We are surrounded by enemies from all directions. We're like a sheep around 70 nations, 70 wolves. They want to devour us. The pasuk we just read in Hallel says, Kol goyim sevavuni, b'shem Hashem ki amilam. The goyim surround me, and only with Hashem's name can I cut them down. Who are these people, these nations that surround us? The Brisker Rav explained. The pasuk says about HaKadosh Baruch Hu's strength in Melachim Aleph Perek Yutes. He is mefarek harim umeshaber Salayim. He's splitting mountains and shattering boulders. What are these boulders? What are Salayim? Salayim, Sela, boulders are the nations that surround us. That's the Goyim Zasevevuni. Samech is Syria. Lamed is Lebanon. Ayin is Aza. Yud is Yarden, Jordan. And Mem is Mitzrayim, Egypt. They surround me. And then the passage says, Sabuni gam Sevavuni. A circle and another circle. They're the first circle. The second circle is Turkey, Iran, and Iraq. And if one thinks that we can go and fight them with the power of our arms, the pasuk says, B'shem Hashem ki amilam. The only way to fight them and the only way to be successful is to use HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name. Because the following pasuk says, Sabuni chidvorim duachu ke'esh kotzim. What does that mean? They surround me like bees? What kind of an allegory is that? They are like bees? The Gaon Mivina says, Hekef betoch, Hekef ve'anachnu batavech. A circle and another circle, and we are right in the middle between all these nations. So what does it mean they are like bees? There's a pasuk in Dvarim Perek Aleph, pasuk Mendaled, the pasuk says, Vayetze ha'emori ha'yoshev b'har hahu likrasrem, and the Amorites dwelling in that mountain came out towards you. And then what happened? Vayirdefu esrem ka'asher ta'asena ha'dvorim. And they pursued you as bees do. What does it mean? They chase that like the bees do? Rashi explains. Just like a bee dies instantly as soon as it stings the person, so too, as soon as the Amorites touched us, they immediately died. These Ishmaelim are just like the bees because they don't care to die. They're just like the bees. And therefore, if one thinks you can frighten them with the bow and the arrow, you can find them with our guns, with our tanks, and with our air force, the only way it can work is B'Shem Hashem Ki Ambilam. We can cut them down. We can destroy all of them. Ve'anachnu B'Shem Hashem Elokeinu Nazkir. That's the only way it works. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu performed tremendous miracles. We said last night in the bracha, we're going to say it today, we're going to say it in the next few days of Chanukah. She'asa nisim la'avoseinu bayam imahem. And we request him, it should be bayam b'zman hazeh. Acheinu kol beis Yisrael. הנשונים בצר ובשיב יעם דימן בים ובין ביבשה המקום ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצר ולבוכם אפילו לעיר ומשובד לגולה אשתו בעגלו בזמן קורב ונוימר אמן